Decision Plus has been and still is a leading stock market service provider. From training to coaching, we cover it all. Try both our software as well as our coaching site, completely free for 10 days without obligation. No credit card is needed to sign up for the trial. The trial subscription will be automatically canceled for you at the end. DecisionPlus.com, your stock market service center. Real-time coaching has been created. We search and classify critical reports and technical movements. You can visualize or hear the best buying and selling opportunities. Get real-time advice all day long and 3 live coaching shows per day. Let us do the work and save your time for trading. Try marketgurus.tv free without obligation for 10 days in the menus above. Market Vision Plus is the trading companion of so many investors. Make your fundamental and technical analysis easy with Canada's #1 stock market decision-making software. Research, decide, and follow your positions with Market Vision Plus. See the menus just above this program and try Market Vision Plus for 10 days without any obligation after the show. When it comes to day trading, Trader Plus is the right tool. Track 50 quotes simultaneously. Create dozens of quick lists. Display as many as 30 real-time intraday charts at the same time. Watch the action with candlesticks or bar charts as fast as 10 seconds. See the market by sectors. Use the chart models already prepared for you. Try Trader Plus for 10 days in the menu above without any obligation.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Swing Trading Show. Today we're Wednesday, September 16, 2015. Today we're going to have an interactive show and I want you guys to participate, to ask questions, and to also answer the surveys that we're going to have for you throughout the day. First, I'm going to share with you an article in Goldman Sachs, where Goldman Sachs said which companies you should own if ever the Fed raises interest rate or if ever the Fed doesn't raise interest rate. The companies that Goldman Sachs think will be better positioned if the Fed raises interest rate are companies which have more solid balance sheets. So I invite you to download this document, take a look at it, read it. We actually have on MarketGurus.tv one of those stocks in our analyst shares portfolio. That stock is Priceline. That stock was recommended as a buy on Market Gurus around September 7, if I remember right. So that stock is doing well, pursuing its rally. It has a solid balance sheet. Among the stocks that you should not own, according to Goldman Sachs, is a stock, for instance, like McDonald's, because McDonald's, they have a lot of floating rate debt, which means that if ever they raise interest rate, this is gonna increase their cost to pay interest on their debt, and this is actually going to be negative for their free cash flows. So this is something that I invite you to read. Now, today we have a slight rally on the market, but it's mostly the TSX that is the winner today. It's on the TSX that on MarketGurus.tv we have favored to recommend a lot of opportunities. If we take a look at the situation here, energy, gold, mining has been the best performers throughout the day. Now let's take a look at the situation here on oil. Oil here is testing its resistance, could actually break out. The energy sector is actually a sector that we could consider in a short-term bullish cycle. To be safe, on MarketGurus.tv, we had several short positions in the energy sector. But with today's rally, especially ahead of the FOMC announcement tomorrow, what we have decided to do on the energy sector is to close all of our short positions. So we have today no exposure, no bearish exposure at all on the energy sector. Should you open some positions for swing trading on the energy sector? No, not ahead of the FOMC announcement. It's too risky. A lot of data are pointing that the Fed is going to keep the status quo because we still have inflation numbers that came out today in the US. They're slightly below the target. It's actually at 1.8%. The Fed's target is 2%, so we're still below estimates, which means that The Fed has almost no reason to raise interest rate if only we base the Fed decision on the inflation numbers. Now, if we take a look at the energy sector, are there some stocks that could break out? Yes, there are. A stock like Cameco, for instance, could break out higher than 1858. A stock like Parex Resources as well. The thing on Parex Resources, that will be a nice breakout. Look, we have the technical indicators that are positive on a stock like Parex. We know that if we put, for instance, a Fibonacci retracement from that top to that bottom, you see the stock could easily reach 968 or even go higher depending on the strength of the upward momentum. But we still have weakening volume on a stock like that, which should make you be a little bit worried on a stock like Parex Resources. So therefore, I would not be comfortable to get into a stock like that and hold it overnight. Other stocks could break out to tomorrow, such as Crescent Point, higher than 1742. Canadian Oil Sands, higher than 674. In Canada, today's has been one of the best breakouts. But the thing is, what we have favored in the energy sector is to look at three things, because we favored day trading. And those are the stuff I said you should look for. First, the intraday chart. So we saw in Canada here, nice entry point there. Finally, the stock stabilized. So where is the next entry point? On the break of that resistance higher than 1020 on a stock like Canada. Now, if we put the daily chart, what is the stock doing? So far, we see that the stock has just tested its 50-day moving average. So can the stock has the probability to break that 50-day moving average? I doubt it, especially ahead of the Fed decision tomorrow, where we don't know what's going to happen. So for those reasons, a stock like Canada, if you got in that opening, good job. I would say reduce slightly your exposure or take some profit. But if you have not gotten in Canada, I would not feel comfortable to get into that stock, because first, we're not making a new high intraday, and second of all, we're reaching the 50-day moving average. A stock like Secure Energy Services, also a nice breakout, but if we take a look at this stock here, it's not making a new high. It needs to go above 1080 to confirm the new entry point, and it's also reaching its former resistance, which corresponds to the 50-day moving average. So I doubt that the stock could pursue its rally. So we're going to actually continue with other stocks in the energy sector, but if you take a look at this, the stocks with an S of stocks that could break out, and the ones with an I are stocks that are active for day trading. So I advise you to take a look at those stuff here to be able to determine, to look at the best opportunities. On the gold sector here, one of our best picks on Market Gurus TV that we have recommended is Gold Corp. That stock is in a clear breakout, but you see potential is 1873. There's a probability that the gold sector could, that stock could pursue its rally, but we see there's a lot of congestion there. So 1829, 1830 could be the target on a stock like that. Barrick Gold too. The thing with Barrick Gold, I think Barrick Gold, that will be an opportunity where you could potentially build up your position there. Look at the wave of buyers that's coming in. I'll feel more comfortable to get into Barrick Gold, because first, I love the wave of buyers that's coming in on Barrick Gold, and second of all, to reach the 30-day moving average, it's at 929. So from this actual price to 920, sorry, we still have some potential on the upside. So Barrick Gold, it's still neutral, surging by 6.27%. It's okay. It's not that big, but still it's okay. Volumes are okay too as well. So definitely Barrick Gold, that is my favorite for today on a stock like in the gold sector. So it's really gold, energy. Those are the sectors that you should favor. If you had Market Gurus TV since opening, we have recommended a lot of opportunities for day trading. Some of them have performed well. For some of them have not as much. But if you want to get in today on some of those stocks, first I would say do not hold them overnight, or make sure that at least you can have some potential. Take a look at the 10-day, 50-day, and 30-day moving average to see how much potential do you have if you're getting it into a stock. And also make sure that intraday-wise, can the stock make a new high? It's really important to see that. And if you don't have that, that would be definitely a stock that you should not favor. So let's take a questions from Tom, and after I'm going to ask you guys a yes or no question. So do insiders know some things we don't today? Is that why gold and energy stocks could be up? Well, Tom, to answer your questions, do insiders know some things that we don't today? I don't know if we can put Tom question here. Okay, if we can put, thank you. So Tom, so do insiders know something we don't today? Well, look, insiders, there are insiders everywhere, right? Companies have insiders, and with a system like that, I think there's always some insiders. But overall, I'm not a firm believer that the market's full with insiders and that nobody can make any money, right? There are some insiders who are making more money than others, true, but at a certain point, I think that the regulators will find them and will make them pay. So is there something that they know that we don't know? Well, from what we know, it's understandable that energy and gold stocks are going up because inflation numbers today came out at 1.8% in the US. Fed's target is 2%. So if inflation is at 1.8%, the Fed's target is at 2%, the Fed has almost no reason to raise its interest rate to fight inflation because inflation is still below its target. We still have the situation that happens in China where there's a lot of worries. Situation in the Eurozone where there's a Greek parliament that is actually voting some new reforms. Japan has debt rating has been downgraded. Emerging markets so far are not doing well. So really those are all some factors that are making investors think that the Fed is going to keep the status quo. And if the Fed keep the status quo, of course, gold, energy companies are going to do well. Why? Because with the weak commodity prices, well, those companies, they're going to have some reassurance that the interest rate are going to stay the same. So the interest they're going to pay on their debt is going to be not as much if ever the Fed raises interest rate. So those are all some factors that we know, data available to the public, that make us consider that energy, gold stocks could do well if the Fed keep interest rate unchanged. But if ever the Fed raises interest rate, well, those companies that are affected by weak commodity prices, I'm talking mostly of energy and gold stocks, well then that's going to cost them more to pay to service the interest on their debt, and that's going to be negative for their cash flow. So yes and no, I'm going to ask you folks, yes and no. Did you invest today among either energy or gold stocks? Yes, if you invested. No, if you didn't. Yes and no. Have you invested among energy or gold stocks? Yes, if you have invested. No, if you have not. So far we see that most people have not. I think you guys actually are following our advice, and I think, however, the thing is, for those of you who answered no, I really hope that you guys are putting some stocks in your watch list. We have CPG, for instance, on the TSX. I think that stock could potentially break out if the rally continues tomorrow.
Find answers to your questions by emailing your host at btm@decisionplus.com.
5 good reasons to manage your investments with National Bank Direct Brokerage. Commission fees fixed at $9.95 anytime for all clients and starting at only $6.95 for active investors. No administrative fees if you hold at least $20,000 in your accounts. Registered accounts available in U.S. currency. Powerful tools to help you manage your portfolio. Award-winning customer service and satisfaction levels amongst the highest in the industry. To learn more, visit nbdb.ca or call us now.
Real-time coaching has been created. We search and classify critical reports and technical movements. You can visualize or hear the best buying and selling opportunities. Get real-time advice all day long and 3 live coaching shows per day. Let us do the work and save your time for trading. Try marketgurus.tv free without obligation for 10 days in the menus above.
So welcome back, folks. We also had a survey that we displayed there. I also would like you to answer that survey. Once the answers will be all piled up, we'll publish the results of the survey. So it's mostly some survey concerning some questions that we have about your opinion about the Fed decision tomorrow, and for instance, what type of a mobile phone do you use, etc., etc. So I definitely invite you to answer that survey. It's still there, so continue to answer the questions. So let's take the questions from callers here. Hi Chris, is there any news on why energy stocks are trading higher today, and should we be buying? Well, should we be buying? It's a question here that I would say that day trading, but not swing trading. I don't know if you're more a swing trader or a day trader. For instance, I know that today we had Lightstream That was one of the best, well, best performer. Not a stock that has been really liquid. Encana, well, surged by 5.68%. So it has been really a short-term percentage though, because if you got in, for instance, at 9.94, should have taken some profits today, right now at 10.05, 10.10, right, on a stock like Encana. But should you buy today? Look, we still have the indices, right, that are staying neutral. I would say favor first stocks. Put some stocks in your watch list. For instance, a stock like Parex, which is still neutral, put it on your watch list. Buying signal 950. Crescent Point, I've mentioned 1750, 1730 is going to be the go. Canadian Oil Sands, 685 is going to be the go for a target of 770, 765. Stock like, which one? Another stock like Torque Oil and Gas. Is it a buy? Well, technically speaking, it's a buy, but it's already surging by 10%. We don't know what the Fed is going to do tomorrow, so why should you risk opening some position that is already surging by 10.12%, knowing that your exit point should be below that support at 562? So first of all, you have the 50-day moving average that's there at 657. So there's a risk that the stock might stop there. So you have less than 10% gain potential and more than 10% loss potential. So the risk-reward ratio is not appropriate on a stock like that. A stock like Synovus Energy, that could be a nice buy, but I'd like to see the clear break of that important resistance, because we have tested that resistance so many times. We have been unable to break it, and I definitely love to see Synovus breaking that resistance, going above 1933. That will confirm the strength of the bullish momentum in a stock like Synovus Energy. But so far, it's not the case. And I know it might be frustrating when you see some energy stocks rising, and I'm not recommending you to buy some of them, but we have to stay technical. And we see that the rally that we had since opening, it's stabilizing on all the sectors. And the thing is that we don't want you to rush in and buy any stocks, right? Especially when we have a situation where even if there's a lot of indications that the Fed will keep the status quo, but there's no guarantee that the Fed will do so. So this is actually the thing that we have to take into account. Now, do we have some nice stocks? Well, there was, in terms of the nicest breakouts, those are all the nicest breakouts of the day. So I invite you to take a look at those stocks here. And make sure that, for instance, if you're buying a stock like Torque Oil and Gas, you know, it's not because we have the 50-day moving average that's that 653 that the stock might not go higher. It might go higher to reach that former resistance of 733. The moving average is not enough to determine that. It all depends on the buyer's momentum, the speculators who are rushing in. So if you're buying a stock like Torque Oil and Gas, which is already surging by 9.60%, I think you should definitely make sure you put either a trailing stop loss of 5 or 6%, or make sure that if ever we lose all of today's gains, we go below 590, you get out on a stock like that instead of waiting for the stock to go below 570. We're going to put the results of the survey. So the results of the survey is going to be displayed right now, so we can have the results there. So what's the Fed decision tomorrow? Most people think that the Fed will keep rates unchanged until the next meeting in December. This is something I think it's really probable. What type of mobile phone are you using? Most people use another type. And is the energy sector on your radar with its neutral range? Yes. Is the energy sector on your radar with its neutral range? Yes, I'm totally monitoring the best buying opportunity. Good job, folks. I think this is definitely the sector that you should favor and you should watch for tomorrow, especially if the rally continues. It's going to be on our radar as well on marketgurus.tv. Now, as for the day trade of the day, I want to show you it's a stock here. We're hesitating between Encana, but we saw the 50-day moving average in Encana. We didn't want you to rush in and hold that stock overnight, so this is why we had favored another stock, which has been Asna Retail. And if we take a look at Asna Retail, we didn't have a lot of entry points, but at least we had 2 entry points on a stock like that. The next entry point is going to be at 1313, but I doubt that the stock could go higher because it has already reached its resistance there on that stock. So it was good at opening, but right now the momentum seems to be dead. So that's it, folks. See you tomorrow on the Swing Trading Show. It was great to have your participation today. I appreciate that. Hope you kept the Goldman Sachs document. Thank you for answering the survey. Thank you also for continuing to watch the energy sector, because this is definitely a sector that we think could do well if the rally continues. And also wish you all a good trading. See you tomorrow.